Guys, what's going on? Zach here, undergroundstrength.tv, and had more questions come in through Instagram. Make sure you're following me there at zevanesh, and I'm going to answer two questions. Number one is, what kind of diet and training protocols change for an athlete that might have to adjust their weight when it's the in-season, such as a younger football player, the Pop Warner football players who have weight classes? That's number one. Number two, as well as my wrestlers. So number one, I never recommend cutting weight. I recommend being strong, staying lean, not carrying really excess body fat. Of course, we're going to have a little bit of body fat. Helps keep the joints healthy. It gives you energy. And there has to be a little bit of time where you're not super strict, unless you're a bodybuilder. We are athletes, so I train athletes. They need to really fuel up on a pretty high amount of quality calories, not shitty calories. Those that are getting fat or putting on fat weight are simply not eating healthy enough. And we have a software program through Wodify that allows us to track their nutrition. So anytime I see an athlete that's hit a wall, they're not making the physical progress, I have them do a week of nutrition tracking. And I always find that there's no fruits, no veggies, no salads, and a lot of processed foods. So I don't recommend any of that weight cutting. I recommend falling into the weight class where you could still eat a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so 3 square meals a day. If it's a younger athlete, such as the middle school kids that are Pop Warner athletes or wrestlers at the middle school, no cutting weight. If you've got to cut weight, then I'm really just against it. Here and there, I have heard of kids that have lost 20 pounds and all they did was started running a mile every day. And I know some strength coaches out there might be saying, oh my God, running a mile, it's too much, but it's not too much. I mean, several decades ago, right, there were young kids that were farming 10, 12 hours a day. And if you saw that movie with Kevin Costner, McFarland, I believe it's called, about the town, McFarland, with the kids that work on a farm before they go to school. They run to and from school, then they would do their cross-country practice, and then work on the farms again. It was a tremendous workload, but they built such tremendous mental toughness and pride in what they do. And we don't have enough kids in this younger generation who take pride, let alone coaches who take pride in giving their heart and soul to these kids. So food protocols, eat a good kind of an even balance of protein, carbs, and healthy fats, getting in unlimited water, and I tell them unlimited fruits. They're young. They're not, in their 20s, 30s, where they have to watch with fructose and sugar intake. Healthy foods, go in large quantities, and eating every 3 to 4 hours. Ironically, our kids that eat the healthiest and eat the most, they are the strongest. They are in the best physical condition. They look the best. They look like Spartans. So those are my nutrition recommendations. We give them a welcome packet with nutrition guidelines to follow. And like anybody who's dedicated, you're either on the bus or you're not on the bus. You can't be standing out in the street and expecting to be going where the bus is going without doing the work. That's the bottom line. The other question, and I've answered this before, came from Jason Yoon, was asking about what do you do when the sport coach is kind of going overboard with the training and now you are basically unfucking what the sport coach does. But that's the way it always is, guys. It's pretty rare. Not that I said it's pretty rare. There's no absolutes. There's not too many qualified strength and performance coaches in the high schools. Some of the private and prep schools have it, but public schools don't want to do it. They don't want to spend the money. So they bring in John Smith, science teacher who maybe works out a lot but doesn't have really a true background in assessing these athletes, what's weak, what's strong, mobility issues, how to work around training an incoming freshman, building a base foundation of strength, stamina, general physical preparation. They don't get these things. In season, off season, they don't get it. So what I do is I communicate, and we communicate heavily with the kids. What'd you do today at the weight room? Talk to me about practice, or maybe it's the off season. Talk to me about your day, food, all these things. And we have our workout ready to go, and we adjust. The one thing I've learned is that sometimes, as a coach, I got a little bit too smart for my own good, and I pussified the training. And what I learned is that, look, 15, 16, 20-year-old, 22-year-olds, they are in their prime. Their testosterone levels are through the roof. They could handle such high workloads, high volumes. It's crazy. So let's stop being so worried really about what they should or shouldn't do, and let's work everybody hard on the basics. So a kid might say, hey, I benched this morning. Okay, well, we got floor presses on the agenda. Or you're going to use a fat bar. Or I'm going to throw some chains and you're going to do speed work instead of heavy work. So they're still doing a similar pressing motion, but we're doing different reps, different speed, different overall effect. So I hope that helps you guys out about how I tweak some nutrition guidelines. Same thing with the training. I keep everything basic because the basics win, and I do a lot of auto-regulation, which is essentially I'm good and great at individualizing. Last week, I had 2 kids that were in here. If it's not that busy, I could even individualize more, but I had 2 kids that just needed to be fucking stronger. And their workout was supposed to be power cleans for 5 or 6 sets, box squats 5 or 6 sets. Then I had a circuit of sleds, lunges, back extensions, something like that. But these guys, I had them do box squats. I had them do a couple sets of 5, couple sets of 3. Then I had them do some singles. I started building that technique. Must have did 10, 11, 12 sets. Then took the box away, went lighter, and did the same thing with free squats. Before you know it, we had done 16, 17 sets of squats, maybe more. The reps were low, 5s, 3s, and 1s. Then when we did the free squats, once I got that technique, box squat, free squat, just squatting like crazy, we did 2 sets, I think around 10 repetitions. Each kid had a different rep range. I cut the set according to their technique. But I didn't give a shit about power cleans with these guys. They didn't need power cleans. They fucking needed to squat and put weight on their back. When they were done with that, because of the slower pace, I pushed them through a circuit. We did some fat bar benching for sets of 5 to 8, coupled with farmer walks and sled work. Why? Because they needed to be mentally tough. These guys are wrestlers and football players, and I already did the strength work and the skill work of the squat. Now it was time to do some strength endurance, some muscle building, and some mental toughness. So it was auto-regulated, and it was catered to exactly what they needed. I think coaches study all this very high-level stuff from Verkhoshansky or the West Side methods, and they think you're going to apply that to these high school kids. Shit, we're lucky if 50% of them could do an awesome bodyweight squat when they show up. So after that, it's like all these mobility issues, weak areas. You're doing a lot of bodybuilding work to bring up their weak points, and then little by little we're able to tweak things and be more power and explosive like. So a lot of catering, individualizing, and the shit is basic. And that's why when you see us training, you see our Instagram videos, what do you see? Box squats, power cleans, farmer walks, pull-ups, weighted push-ups, ring push-ups, a lot of bodyweight training, a lot of jumping over hurdles, boxes, throwing medicine balls. It's basic, but the expert knows that basics win. The amateur is trying to impress everybody with the flashy fads and gimmicks. At the end of the day, the best strength coach is the one who cares and providing amazing results for kids, changing their lives. The strength coaches or the sport coaches out there who are not all in, I'm putting it out there now, you should hang it up and retire, because taxpayers are paying for you to do a half-assed job, and kids don't deserve that. Kids deserve the best. So let's start giving them everything we got from the heart. I'm Zach from undergroundstrength.tv. Get over there, sign up for the newsletter, get my training courses, and if you want online coaching from me, go to garagegymathletes.com. Peace.